where they were showing off stuff to do with the new Yakuza game, Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, or Yakuza 8, or however you want to word it, right? So they were having this event and they were showcasing that kind of stuff. And one of the events was called the RGG Summer Summit or whatever. And now this event that happened as of late is called the RGG Fall Summit, and RGG means Ryogaga Toku, which is to do with the whole Yakuza, people who make Yakuza and stuff like that. So they had this whole event. Now, I think last time I did say that I watched the entire summit and I'd watched the whole thing and the whole live stream. Well, this time I kind of just watched people's reactions to the trailers that they put out of the story trailer and the gameplay trailer, and that is because I'm pretty sure this event, like actually for Scotland, right, it was like 4 a.m, so I couldn't really attend the event or even watch it live, if that makes sense. So how do I feel about the event itself? Well, it's quite interesting because there was a lot of context given to the whole Ichiban butt naked on Hawaiian beach, and there's this whole like revelation about Kiryu having cancer, and there's all this stuff to do with the gameplay.
You are about to experience the James Rambling Show, hosted by James Beck.
Hello, welcome back to the James Rambling Show for yet another episode, and in today's episode, I'm actually going to be talking about some Yakuza today. Now, obviously, this is not all we're going to be discussing, but this came to mind because a few months ago, I want to say we talked about this whole Yakuza event where they were showing off stuff to do with the new Yakuza game, Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, or Yakuza 8, or however you want to word it, right? So they were having this event and they were showcasing that kind of stuff. And one of the events was called the RGG Summer Summit or whatever. And now this event that happened as of late is called the RGG Fall Summit, and RGG means Ryogaga Toku, which is to do with the whole Yakuza, people who make Yakuza and stuff like that. So they had this whole event. Now, I think last time I did say that I watched the entire summit and I'd watched the whole thing and the whole live stream. Well, this time I kind of just watched people's reactions to the trailers that they put out of the story trailer and the gameplay trailer, and that is because I'm pretty sure this event, like actually for Scotland, right, it was like 4 a.m, so I couldn't really attend the event or even watch it live, if that makes sense. So how do I feel about the event itself? Well, it's quite interesting because there was a lot of context given to the whole Ichiban butt naked on Hawaiian beach, and there's this whole like revelation about Kiryu having cancer, and there's all this stuff to do with the gameplay. I actually do have a bit of an article for you so I can kind of detail it out, but I do remember the fact that this game's coming out on January 2024, which is quite interesting when you consider Gaiden, like a Dragon Gaiden, comes out in November, and this one comes out in January, so there's a bit of a 2 month gap there. And it is interesting to see that Kiryu even has cancer, because obviously Yakuza 6 was establishing the fact that he was actually going to quote-unquote die, then he comes back in Yakuza 7, then he's coming back for Gaiden, then he's in Yakuza 8. So there's this thing here, right, that I have actually got for you. So it says, where was it, right? Right, hold on a sec. Sega and Ryogaga Toku Studio have announced the release date for the next game in the Like a Dragon series, formerly the Yakuza series, titled Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. The game will be released on January 26, 2024. Right, so I kind of have established that it's going to come out in January. Right, so showed off a new trailer for Infinite, which depicted Kazuka Ichiban explaining his predicament. He's searching for his mother, whom he had previously presumed dead, and has now ended up in Honolulu, Hawaii. Of course, things are set off by the typical series of crime conspiracies and melodrama back in Tokyo and Yokohama, right? Which see Ichiban get flown to Hawaii, knocked out by a conman cab driver, washing up on a beach. He's arrested for indecency and runs into original protagonist Kiryu while in custody. Kiryu and Ichiban will be dual targets and Infinite Welfare. That's kind of already established that they're going to be the main protagonists right here, right? So you definitely get that. Now, what I thought was also kind of interesting was how, like, you had this whole thing to do with how there's like the Chinese mafia and the Barracudas, who are like these other kind of gangs in the game that they revealed. And so obviously you're gonna have those. There's also similar party members, those similar people from the previous game are gonna join Ichiban again. So the trailer does actually show a older Saejima, Akiyama, and Majima, major characters who have played a significant part in the series, whom Kiryu meets up with as he comes to terms with the end of his life. And a cast interview, blah 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 blah. Right, so you get to see that as well. Like some older characters are coming back for another bit, and then you've also got some light-hearted stuff that they showed off to do with karaoke, which is kind of a staple with the Yakuza games. A second trailer showed off more of the world explanation, featuring Segway riding, more mini games like Crazy Delivery and a Crazy Taxi style bicycle delivery service, and more adult themed pursuits. Retro games like Sega Base, Fishing, Virtua Fighter 3, and Spike Out will be playable, so that there was that as well. They kind of showed off. The world will have dynamic weather. Now, that's a detail I actually forgot to mention, was the fact that there's going to be dynamic weather where the weather's going to change. There's also the turn-based combat from the previous game in there, where it returns with some tweaks, including freedom of movement and Q's ability to take things into real-time combat. So that was the thing about Yakuza 7 that you couldn't really do, right? You're just standing there doing your moves or whatever. But I did see in the gameplay trailer that they showed off how you can move around, which is definitely a decent thing to see. And I did also hear that this is going to be like the biggest Yakuza game adventure yet. And obviously a Yakuza 5 that was very long, but I hope the game is still very enjoyable. I mean, I'm not being super obsessed with Yakuza as of late, but this piques my interest because, I really like Yakuza. I think I got burnt out, to be honest with you, but anyways, right, so you have that whole thing, and then there's the job system that was in Yakuza 7, where you got these different styles of jobs and all these things you had to do and these different outfits, stuff like that, right? So, which acts as a class system, have new additions, such as the Pyro Dancer, Housekeeper, Action Star, and others, providing new abilities and costumes, right? So there's also the Pound Mates. The Pound Mates were something in the previous game that they kind of started to do, where you had all these things that you could use in battle, these people that could fight for you, do all these moves and take out enemies, stuff like that. So there's that. Pound Mates, including the Lobster game mode with the Sujimon, right, all of that. Right, There's also this actor called Danny Trejo that's actually going to show up, that's showing up in the game, which is kind of interesting. So there was that kind of stuff in there. They've confirmed the release date. So that's the biggest takeaway. That's an interesting thing about this entire event, is you definitely got to see like the new stuff that they're gonna be adding to Yakuza 8, and I definitely find it interesting with the whole context behind the whole Ichiban Butt Naked Hawaiian Beach about the con man cab driver, and it's gonna be interesting to see how that all turns out. I do hope that Gaiden is very good, and I hope like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is very good as well. Because it's Yakuza, man, and I just really like Yakuza. So there's definitely that, where we actually had another Yakuza event. So to kinda double down on this whole idea of video games, I do actually want to talk about how GTA 5 turned 10 years old as of late. Now, if you know about the James Ramblin' show, I think I have talked about how I didn't like some GTA games, or like GTA 3 for example. Yeah, I wasn't really the biggest fan of that, but it turned 10 years old, and I believe, right, I have actually been replaying GTA 5 a lot as of late, because on my Xbox, right, I have this account where it's not got as much gamer score, so I want to kind of up that, and I do like GTA 5, and this game is 10 years old, right, and it kind of runs smoothly, so it's kind of interesting the fact that this is actually 10 years old. And there's this whole thing about GTA 6, when will GTA 6 happen? Oh, it's taking ages, it's taking ages. So the release date of GTA 5 was the 17th of September 2013. So that was 10 years ago. I mean, GTA 5 has done a lot. Has done a lot for like the entire gaming universe, like, world and things of that nature. Like, it's one of the most popular video games of all time, and Rockstar's definitely milking this game indeed because you had the PS3 version and the Xbox 360, and then it's went from that to the Xbox One to the PS4 to the PS5 and it's PC, and they're just kind because they're banking off it. They're just spending a lot of money and stuff like that. So you definitely get that where GTA 5 is 10 years old, which is kind of crazy. Just shows you that time flies by. That 2013 was 10 years ago. So once you get outside of the whole entire stuff to do with the gaming as a whole, I do actually want to talk about Yami's new track that he put out as of late, which is called "I'll Squeeze You." Now, I will play this song, but I might have to get some like translated lyrics for this because it is in Russian as well. So I'll give my thoughts on it after I play the song. I have listened to the song itself. So let me just quickly grab it right here. Right, is that it there? Hold on. There's the ads again, right, so here we go, right. Hold on a minute. We're gonna dive into it in a minute, and then I'll play the like. That's it right there, right? Yeah, I don't really understand what he's saying, but that's kind of what it is here. I only understand Big Night or whatever. The beat, I have listened to the song. It kinda goes on a loop, like those Russian words kinda go on a loop. So if I were to compare it to like 556 Bad Neighbours and the tracksuit trash pile, it's okay. Again, it's just another shitpost, I guess, and it does kind of feel like he's still continuing to go back to the Slavaboo days of his hard bass where he's put all the nah hoy and the bumping hard bass. Ah yes, my squat. That's kind of what this song gives off. So I do think there is actually a translated version of this song, if I can even find it right. So where is it? Right, somebody actually translated this song somewhere. Where was it? Hold on a minute. Where is this freaking thing, man? I can't find it. Right. Is that it there? Hold on. Hold on. I might have to quickly pause this, right, so I can find it. Right. I actually could not find the translated lyrics for some reason. It was very weird that I couldn't actually find those translated lyrics, but that's kind of my thoughts on the song as a whole, right? It's an okay song, it's just like another kind of shitposty song where, Yami's doing the hard bass stuff. I still kind of like 556 and Bad Neighbours a bit more. Kind of had a different feel to it, I guess, than just the Russian hard bass, ah yes, squats and stuff like that. So once we get outside of that kind of stuff, I do actually want to talk about this thing that happened where actually, oh my god, man, we're back to the AI, aren't we, man? We're back to the AI again because there was AI made about me, and I don't know if I can actually play this entire video because there was a bit of these like strange words that kind of feel a bit controversial, and if I play them, it'll make me look like kind of silly and out of context, right? So I will quickly find that video, right? So where was it? Right, I'll try not to. I'll turn my phone down a bit. Right, it's a weird little parody, like AI thing. What stuff YouTube's terms of service. Yeah, so it's kind of a weird AI looking thing. Right, so it's like the F, like the N, like this. one of my friends actually made this AI thing where, I'm saying like the N word and the F word and things of that nature, and it's very strange to say the least that, you got AI stuff happening. There's another one as well that I will play some of. I'm just not, I just don't want to play these weirdly controversial, edgy things, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's kind of my emphasis on that, right? It's just kind of these strange AI things. It strikes again indeed. So once you get outside of that kind of stuff, right, I do actually want to talk about how there's this event going on with this like space thing, like in Scotland or something like that. Right, where was it, right? Let me find it, right? So it's the Rocket and George Square, right? So they will, right, so it says the tour will be in George Square from September 21 to 21st, right? Actually, here it is, right? It's called The Space for Everyone. It's got like VR and all this kind of stuff, right? Where they're showing off some like things. Right. So, right, the UK Space Agency's Space for Everyone tour lands in George Square September 21st with VR experiences, space related activities, and a colossal 72-foot replica of the Launcher One rocket. Right? So that's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. now. I'm not actually going to go to the event, but I just found this kind of interesting. So what else does it say? Right, it's highly recommended to visit as an event. We have an awesome opening. Right, so there's definitely that kind of stuff in there. So I might actually just show you quickly what this rocket actually looks like. So I'll just do this, right. So for audio listeners, I'm just showing it, right. So it's kind of like this rocket looking thing. What is it? Right? So it looks like that, right. I'll just put it up close like that, right. So it looks like a rocket's just like landed there. So we'll see how. I don't think I'm actually going to the event itself, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it, right? It's like a little interesting little piece of news, like kind of like last week how we had the whole alien stuff. Like it's just another little interesting piece of news. But just to quickly add a bit more onto it, it's not actually just in Scotland as well, because it says here it's in Belfast, Aberdeen. It was in like Belfast and Aberdeen and all these other kind of places before Glasgow, and it has been going on from since 2021 to 2023, which I kind of find interesting. You know what I mean? So once we get outside of that kind of stuff, I do actually also want to talk about how I watch the Equalizer movies, like today, I guess you could say. Because like there's the new Equalizer movie that I haven't seen, and maybe I'll review it, but I might just talk about this for a minute, right? So for those who don't know, right, I don't think I've ever talked about like the Equalizer franchise or whatever before, but it's like this, like there's these action movies with Denzel Washington in them, and personally, right, I never got around to these movies until like right now, like I've been told about them, but it's like this whole thing, like it kind of feels like John Wick with like this black actor in it. And there is points where it does take a while to get going as well. What do I think about the first movie? I do enjoy the first movie, but yeah, I do enjoy that first movie because it's like action heavy, but there are points where it takes a while to get to the point, whereas I think the second movie, it takes ages to get to the point, and there is some action, but I think the first movie had a lot more action in it, and it definitely did remind me of John Wick, right? So I will just quickly grab the plot summary just in case people were confused, right? Plot summary. Da 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 da. Rightio, this is right. His name's Robert McCall, Danger, a man of mysterious origin who believes he has put the past behind him, dedicates himself to creating a quiet new life. However, when he meets Terry, a teenager who has been manhandled by violent Russian mobsters, he simply cannot walk away. With his set of formidable skills, comes out of self-imposed retirement and emerges as an avenging angel, ready to ready to take down anyone who brutalizes the helpless, right? So it kind of is like that thing of like this action guy. This guy's gonna save the day. Oh, he's gonna go in there and do what he needs to do, kind of thing. And definitely, there's kind of like these like gory kind of moments, like he kills these people and there's blood. And the movie came out. The first one came out in 2014. The second one came out in 2018. That's kind of my thoughts on that. So, is there really anything else we can talk about? I don't really know because we did the Yakuza stuff. We brought it back to Yakuza. We did the GTA stuff. We did the hard bass song. We did the AI, like the AI of me, the really interesting weird AI of me. And then you had the whole thing with the space thing in Scotland. And then you had the whole thing with the Equalizer movies. So if other than that, this might be a bit of a shorter episode of the James Rambling Show. As always, stay tuned for more episodes like this. Hopefully, maybe we'll do an Equalizer free review based on what I've said about them already. It could add on to that. We'll see if I'll even see the movie at this point. So, other than that, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the James Rambling Show where we pretty much stick to some similar topics, don't we? For not the first time we've done this, have we? So yeah, bye.